I mean, what do you see as the major problem with the students? Do you see anything that stands out?
I was fortunate enough to have a class that was under 40 students, and so it worked out really well because you could look at each student, know their name, and get to know them a little bit. In a classroom that has 150 students or 1,000 students, I think that would be very difficult to do. And the problems that I saw mostly were, one of my students said, how can he receive an A when he's hardly come to class? And I've been here every day, and I had to explain to her that it's the work that speaks for itself. It's not the effort that you put into it that gives you the grade. It's the results of your work. And his work was excellent.
So this was the student that was saying that was the one that was in class a lot of the time? And she was complaining about why, she was saying, why is I'm in class and I get a lesser grade than the person that was not in class more of the time?
And I told her it wasn't high school. Attendance wasn't part of the grade structure in my classroom.
I see, but some teachers it is part of the grade structure.
Right. So if it isn't part of the grading, if attendance isn't part of the overall component of how you develop the grade that you're going to give a particular student, then it's immaterial. If that student comes to class and that student grabs the concept right away, writes marvelous papers, does above and beyond, as this young man did, as far as his interviews that he did. It was a qualitative research class.
Right.
And wrote a fine article, then it didn't matter to me if he was in class every single class meeting, which was twice a week, or if he came sporadically once a month to capture something else, or to ask me a question personally, or to have me go over his work and give me some suggestions. But that was difficult for not only that one female student, but a couple of other students that wanted to know why he received an A in his work as a final grade.
How many teachers do it the way you approach it? Not taking attendance into consideration?
Yeah. I don't know. That's just how I do it. It's just, I think by the time you get to the university level, it's not junior high and high school. It's not compulsory education. It's voluntary education on the student's part. They have to want to come to class. And I think it would be awfully boring to sit in a class that you already have grasped the concepts of. And you just have to be there just to be there.
Well, there's a book out there, you know, it describes how it's like a routine. You do a test. It's more about routine to some of the teachers than actually learning something. You're doing the test, the grades, and you know, and the process. You do the process, but they're more focused on the process than actually the person learning something.
Well, in my view, your hands can't do what your mind doesn't know. And so it's very important for me to, not only with my students, but with my research assistants, to let them know that they understand the concepts and the reasons why we are doing the things that we're doing, the projects that we're doing.
Right.
So, but as far as the problems in the classroom, they were just really minor. And I didn't see the students being as distracted as you might wonder.
Well, what do you think could be done? Yeah, I know you probably haven't seen these problems too much, but what do you think is, if you were to face these problems with, I mean, you know, with the person getting distracted like I described, and you know, with a person with these problems, what do they do about it? What can they do to cope with it, and what is the condition that they're suffering from? Do you have any idea? Because I don't.
No, I think whoever is leading the group, whether it be a facilitator, a student facilitator in the group, or the instructor in the classroom, I think you just have to make certain guidelines that the students or your peers must adhere to keep that group on track. And if distractions take place, then I think the polite way to do it would just be to say, you're clicking that pen is really distracting to the rest of us, and is it distracting to you? Is that your way to relax?
The student who has a problem with that person will approach him and say...
Or the facilitator.
Well, I had a teacher I had seen that was a lawyer. He was a real estate, teaching real estate, and he said that in the classroom, we got to do some classroom cleanup. You know, we have this person and these people that are having problems. We need to keep it down. And there was this other teacher that didn't want to do that. Didn't want to announce it because he was afraid somebody was going to call him nutty, or call it a little. He was a math teacher that I knew who happened to be a former Marine. I cannot believe that he was more concerned. I mean, I thought he shouldn't be more concerned about himself than the condition of the emotional state of his students. You know, I thought that was his approach to that was a little off. But you know, he didn't want his image being. You know, he was concerned about his image. So, but. Yeah, you gotta approach it in a way.
There's two ways way, and there's the polite way, and I choose to take the polite way of doing things.
Yeah.
And so, in speaking with my students, that's how I approach it.
It's unintentional or intentional. Sometimes it's unintentional that you come across rude because you're already annoyed, and okay, I've been that way myself. When I'm annoyed by something, it comes out across rude. Mm-hmm. The person at the other end receive comments. It's not, maybe he's not a thinker type. Say, hey, he's already annoyed because you're annoying him. All he knows is you're being rude, and now he's not gonna want to cooperate and not gonna accommodate you because you're being rude. Then what do? Then you gotta drop the class, or you gotta go to another class and move at the other side of the room.
Rudeness breeds confrontation, an angry type of confrontation. So that's why I try to use my phrases in the most polite way as possible, because the person who is flipping that pen and annoying their peers around them, it may be an unconscious action. They're not even aware that they're doing it. It's
a habit. The calisthenic learner, it's a habit they got to do to make the clockwork work in their head, you know. Yeah, it's...
So, confront that person, I think, would just bring more... Confront them in a less than polite way would bring a harsh confrontation back. I think that that person may not even be aware that they're doing it. So,
how many times have you seen somebody intentionally aggravate somebody in the classroom that purposely aggravates?
Not very much. I can't think of one circumstance.
Yeah, of course, that's true. Yeah, but you're also busy. You're talking, and you're also doing other things, maybe.
But don't forget, when we're talking, we're walking around the classroom and, interacting with the students. And now, I've not been in a stage. I've never taught at a level where there were gang members in there or there were bullies in the classroom. I've only taught at the, over 18 age, and usually around 20 years old.
Yeah, you're not dealing with the kids.
Right. Yeah. All that young fury grabbing hold. So.
Yeah.
Now, a friend of mine is a special education teacher, and she teaches junior college age, and she has a lot of education in that classroom. But
has annoyed you in the classroom? Has anything annoyed you with the students at